In this video, we're going to talk about why designing and living a life of purpose, a life that's truly fulfilling, is not just about the actions that you take anymore, but actually about the identity that you see yourself as. And then we're going to also talk about how the self-picture that you have about yourself might be blocking you from truly experiencing that next level of your potential and might be keeping you stuck in those old kind of patterns of hustling and of chasing and of grinding that have brought you to a certain amount of success, but are now kind of in the way to that next level and how to overcome that. And we're going to talk about the 3-step framework in order to reach your next level of potential, align that with your zone of genius and with all the skills and passions that you have created in your life. Many of us grew up with that idea, with that belief that we're only allowed to be happy, that we're only allowed to feel worthy about ourselves when we achieve something. At least that's true for me. And I know many of the people that I've worked with and that I come across, especially founders, entrepreneurs, have like a similar kind of tone to their life where it's always about chasing the next thing, because we think that after that, there's the holy grail. Then we can finally be happy. When we exited the company, then we will never be unhappy again. And then the day comes and we realize nothing really has changed and the same fears and insecurities pop up. So today I really want to dive into how to be the best version of yourself and really be able to enjoy your life, be fulfilled, live with purpose. And there was a summer day when I was about 10 years old, and my mom would always tease me that I'm so detail oriented when it comes to food, and I would find the dirt and I would find the hair and all of that. So on that beautiful summer day, we were sitting outside in the garden, my parents, my sister, and I, and having lunch. And my mom served this amazing food, this beautiful soup with pancakes in it. So in Germany, we have a soup where you make the soup and then you cut pancakes in little stripes and you put them into the soup. And it was one of my most favorite foods. So I was really looking forward to eating that soup. And then the plate came and it was sitting there. And then a wasp flew right into that soup. And I don't know, somebody tried to smash it. And the wasp flew away. And I wanted to start eating the soup. But then I saw it. There was a leg of the wasp in my soup. And I dropped my spoon and I was shouting. And I didn't want to eat the soup, and I was super frustrated, and I was angry, and I only saw that leg, and I didn't see the whole beauty, like this whole soup. All of a sudden, I only saw this leg, right? Which ruined my whole day. And that's how our brain is wired. That's how we're wired as humans, to see the bad things or the things that don't work so that we can improve, right? Because many thousand years ago, we needed that wiring in our brain so that we can actually survive. Because if we didn't see the things that didn't work, maybe we would miss that, dangerous animal, or we wouldn't think about building a shelter because the winter would come and all of those things. So our brain was wired to see the negative more than the positive, and it still is. In fact, our brain is 7 times more likely to see negative things and to remember negative things than it is to remember positive things. So we have to actively remind ourselves to see the positive in the world. So that means that we're hardwired to see the negative. We're hardwired, and that's why we also want to chase all the time. We try to see the good thing in the future. We think that when we achieve that, then it's going to be good. But it's actually about the here, about the now, about the right now, right here, enjoying the moment that really brings fulfillment. And I just had a client session the other day where we went very, very deep, and all of a sudden there was an insight. And my client said, wow, I've never experienced this. For the first time in his life, he experienced absolute calmness and not the need to chase the next thing, not the need to do the next thing, not to do the next thing, or to, tick off that next task, but just be in this moment. And his insight was that in this present moment is where all the magic happens. So there are 3 myths that keep us from actually experiencing the present moment in all its beauty. The first myth is more is better. The more companies we build, the more money we make, the bigger the house, right? The more happy we will be. And this is an absolute myth because obviously more often means more responsibilities, like we all know, more problems, more struggles. More oftentimes means also that we have to split our times between the different things, so we cannot even be so focused. The second myth is that there isn't enough, right? That keeps us chasing, that keeps us wanting more and kind of gathering more. So there isn't enough is an ingrained belief in our system as humans, because obviously many thousand years ago, again, there actually wasn't enough. So we had to compete for food, we had to compete for shelter, we had to compete for resources. So in the West, there is enough. There is enough of everything. So the moment we still act from that place and we still see the one out there as the opponent, as the enemy, as the competition, that's the moment when we ourselves are internally not going to be happy. Because we constantly compare ourselves to another one, to, he has that, they have this, right? We're always looking to the other side. The grass is always greener on the other side. So the moment we uncover that belief of that there isn't enough, we can start working with that and we can see where are we comparing in our lives that just keeps us agitated and working in that hustle mode all the time. And then the third myth is that everything must stay the same. Everything must stay the same, right? That's a huge myth because obviously the only constant in our lives, the only constantly in evolution, in nature is actually change. So we're constantly evolving, we're constantly becoming a new being. And that brings us to the identity that I was speaking about in the beginning. So when we really want to live a purposeful and fulfilling life, we need to create an identity that also acts from that place, right? Because the old identity, the old person that we were maybe 10, 15 years ago is not serving us in this moment. And the things that we actually want, like living fulfilled, living with purpose, is something that is kind of in the future, but we can bring it in the now. So what I have is the identity evolution formula, the identity evolution framework. That's 4 steps. So you can bring that future identity of yourself into the present moment, live by that. And by this integrating these traits that are already yours, that are already here. So the identity evolution framework goes like this. If your current self picture is keeping you stuck in the same situations, then try these 4 steps. Step number 1, identify the current traits, behaviors, emotional states that you're doing and evaluate if they're serving you or if they're not serving you. The second step is create that new identity, give it a name, and then actually also write down the traits, behaviors, emotional states that this new identity, that best version of yourself would relate to. Okay? The third step is start making decisions as that person and actually taking the old traits, emotional states that are still serving you into that new identity, leaving the ones that are not serving you out, and then act from that new version, act from that new identity. And 4th step is act like that person before you fully feel it, before you fully embody that. Think about it. If you now, for example, you want to feel more relaxed, or you want to feel more calm, but you have multiple projects at the same time, the new identity would be the maybe consolidated philanthropist or the consolidated impact driver. And this identity would not be chasing 7 different projects at the same time. It was focus on 1 or 2 and then fully go with that, acting from a calm and productive state. What are daily routines and habits that we can do so that we can actually be the best version of ourselves, that we can live in the future, that we can live from that identity that is already fulfilled, purposeful, happy, impactful. There's a really important thing that I do every morning, which is I empty my mind completely. I sit in silence, I sit in stillness, and then I empty my mind and I remind myself that I'm a vessel for unlimited possibilities. I'm a vessel for life. I don't know who I will be in 20 years, in 10 years. I don't know exactly. I can just feel into that a little bit, right? But I don't know exactly who I'm going to be. And so I try to empty myself and open myself up for these unlimited possibilities of life, because everything that I think I am is just a construct of my mind, ultimately. Everything that I have learned is a program that I have integrated into my hardware. Think about it like this. We arrive in this world with a hardware called brain, just like a computer, but it doesn't have any softwares implemented. So through the society and the education that we get, where we grow up, when we grow up, we install softwares in our brains that is either uplifting and elevating, or it's actually limiting us. So what I'm doing every morning is I'm going into that state of, what if there wasn't any software right now in this hardware? How would I act? What would I do? What would delight me in this moment? And then live from that place. And whenever old programs that are limiting me come up, bringing awareness to them and then shifting them to something that would be more elevating, that would actually create that outcome that I want, that it would actually be that identity that I strive to be, which is fully fulfilled, present in the moment, on purpose, creating a huge impact in this world. So try these things, and I would love to hear which of those messages hit the most for you, and what you found inspiring about this video. Subscribe to the channel, give the video a like if you found it inspiring. Share it with a friend who could need some inspiration to create that unlimited possibility, because it's so awesome to do this together. We're in this together. Let's share the beauty. Let's share the positivity. And my name is Matthias, and I'm so grateful that you were here today. Super, super grateful. And I hope to see you soon. Bye bye. Have an amazing day.